Tallgrass.net. Well, hello YouTube. Welcome to the first ever episode of Tallgrasstales.net. My name is André, and in this video I'll be taking you through the fastest ways to level up your character on Pokémon GO. But first, here's a tip for beginners. Now, beginners, I know that at the beginning of your game, it's going to be very tempting to spend Stardust, that magical currency that boosts up the power of Pokémon. Well, let me be the first to say that this is not at all what you want to do. As you can see, this Eevee that I just caught is level 443, which means that by the time you get to my level, which is 20, then you're going to start seeing Pokemon like this all the time. Now, this is just a quick rundown of my Pokemon list, but essentially, the point that I'm trying to make here is that if you spend your dust on Pokemon that are below level 100, you're basically going to miss out on that dust when you actually need it. Take this Slowpoke for instance. If I had met him at level 5, I would have thought, wow, he's so strong, I need to spend my dust to make him even stronger. But now that I'm level 20, I'm starting to see Pokemon like this Lapras all the time. Well, maybe not all the time, but the point I'm trying to make is that if you're gonna boost up your Pokemon, you have to make sure that that's a Pokemon that's gonna stay with you for a while. Now, this Executor I'm powering up because there's no other reason for me to use his currency. Also, the higher level your Pokemon is, the more points that he'll get for every boost. Now, even though I'm powering up my Pokemon, that's not to say that level 20 is exactly the level to start. I'm simply choosing to boost up my Pokemon now because I want to have a great and dependable party of 3. A party of 3 is essentially all you need when you go into a gym. Just make sure that they're multi-typed and that they can cover each other's weaknesses. The rest of your Pokemon can kind of just sit back and be gym fodder. If you have a Pokemon that you need to deposit in a gym, choose any other Pokemon but your top 3 strongest Pokemon. You need those for battling. You should never be afraid of your gym being overtaken if you put a weaker Pokemon than your strongest 3. Really, you lose nothing if you lose at a gym. The whole point of getting your bonus is to just collect 10 gyms every day, get your bonus, and then it doesn't matter how many you own. You can just start again the next day. Now, as you can see, I have potions and Pokeballs to spare simply because all I do is to go through stops. Now, stops are very useful things within Pokemon. What they are is they're special places all over the world. They never change. They're in the same place all the time. So once you memorize a place that has a lot of Pokestops, you go there. In fact, I would recommend for you to go to a community college simply because a community college is more likely to be public and easily accessible. Your run-of-the-mill residential area will have just a few stops lying around, so while it's useful to take advantage of these stops, the best benefit that you'll find in your Pokemon experience is by going out into either a park or a community college. So if you have a car, then by all means, go out there, man. If you don't have a car, then just ask a guardian to go out to the park with you and have some fun. You'd be surprised at what they say. Just because colleges and parks are the best place to go, it doesn't mean that they're the only... Whoa. Speak of the devil. Just as I was saying that they weren't the only places, this Bulbasaur appears. Oh my god, I have to have it. He's level 500. Alright guys, say it with me. Come on, Curveball. Alright. 1, 2, 3. Oh, gotcha. Just as we did with the Eevee, we caught Bulbasaur with a Curveball. Now, every Curveball you do gives you a 10 XP bonus if it just hits. It doesn't have to do a nice throw, it doesn't have to be an excellent throw. If it just hits, you get plus 10 experience points. And that's 20 if you have a lucky egg. A medal. I like medals. Now, just because curveballs give you a little bit more XP, it doesn't mean they're the only way to throw. In fact, there's nothing wrong with doing the straightforward, tried and true. If you don't want to do a curveball, you don't want to do a curveball. This is your game and you should play it the way you want to play it. However, I will say that curveballs do grant consistently more XP than doing regular throws. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Here are the fastest leveling tips that I can offer for anybody, regardless of level. See this egg that's about to hatch? What I did before it hatched was I popped a lucky egg, and... Caterpie. I mean... Yay. Well, I guess there's nothing too much that we can do except evolve it. Now, the reason why I evolve it is because every evolution is 500 points by itself. That's 1,000 with a lucky egg. And as I mentioned before, simply hatching the egg gives 300 experience points, so that's 600 with a lucky egg. So if I did my calculations correctly, the grand total should be about 1,600 experience for just one action. Perfect! I don't like the way this Venonat's looking at me. He's next. Huh, well, what do you know? I guess curveballs are for everyone. As you can see, my battery stays pretty high because I follow one simple tip, and that is to have my own personal portable charger. These can be found anywhere, and in fact, I've heard that you could actually get one if you donated $20 to tallgrasstales.net. Just putting that out there. You don't have to do anything. You can just watch me try to catch this Pidgey. I mean Pidgeot. I mean Pidgeotto, who is apparently too good for me. Well, whatever. I didn't want you anyway. This last tip is for higher level players. Once you get to the point where you've caught so many Pidgeys and so many Rattatas and so many of these more common Pokemon, you'll find that evolving them is actually not that bad of an idea. I mean, if all goes according to plan, by level 20, you're going to have at least 200 Pidgey candies, you're going to have maybe 300 Rattata candies, and you're going to be able to do some evolutions. Like I said, you pop your lucky egg, and then you evolve every single Pidgey that you can find. Do not evolve Pidgeottos because Pidgeottos take up way more candies. You'll get 1,000 experience regardless of what Pokemon you evolve. So try to evolve the least expensive Pokemons all the time, and when you do, make sure you got that lucky egg. Now, I know what you must be asking. Are lucky eggs the only thing I should be buying? Well, to be honest, you don't even actually have to buy anything. A lot of these premium items you get from leveling up, and while I have to admit that I have spent about $20 in this game, I can say for certainty that really the only time where it's absolutely necessary, and please listen to this, the only time that is absolutely necessary for you to purchase anything, it is at the beginning of the game. Let me say that one more time, the beginning of the game. Of course, it's not actually mandatory, but think about this. When you start out, you haven't discovered any Pokemon yet. And I don't know if you know this, but every new Pokemon that you catch, that you discover, you gain 600 experience points for. That's huge. Now, when you have a lucky egg, that's 1,200 experience points for every Pokemon you discover. And I don't know about you, but I know about you. And you want to level fast. And you want the fastest experience possible. So, by all means, purchase lucky eggs and only buy them at the beginning if that's the only time that you're willing to put up money for this game. You'll find that maybe you'll want to put up money other times because it's just awesome. As you can see right here, this Butterfree is completely new to me. I have not had a Butterfree yet, and so whenever I'm done checking my Pokemon, I'll see my experience, and I should have about 1,000, if I'm not mistaken. But of course, since I'm going to go ahead and evolve this Pidgey, I'm just going to rack up even more experience points. Now I'm just going through my list and making sure that there's no other Pokemon that I can evolve, because let me just tell you, if there is, I'm going to evolve it. It's too much experience points, and experience points are somewhat hard to come by in this game, especially in large quantities at any one given time. So whenever you have the chance at the later levels to evolve those trash Pokemon, then by all means evolve them. Maybe they won't even be trash. So there you have it, guys, 3,000 experience, and all I did was evolve, hatch, evolve, evolve. Yeah, just evolving, man. That's the way to go. Well, that about concludes all the tips that I'm going to cover in today's episode. Stay tuned for more tips coming next episode. Now, I'm thinking of doing this bi-weekly, but if requests come in and if these videos become more popular, then I might just see about releasing them every single week, if not sooner. It all comes down to you. In fact, everything within the site comes down to you. You'll see more of what I mean at tallgrasstales.net.